Welcome back, Lionhearters. Today we are going to do another tutorial discussing, dissecting, and explaining not just territory conquest, but garrison and region battles. Garrison and region battles. Here you can see I'm at the beautiful, the stunning S-tier city of Acre, built by myself and Zeldath, another great builder. And this is not where region battles take place. This is a base. So I'm going to go to my map. I'm going to go to the central Levant, which is actually where Acre is located. And I'm going to make sure I travel there. And the way to get to these regions, a lot of the times, for the time being, you have to walk there. And there are various teleports you can walk. For example, here in Acre, there's one all the way over there. And here I am. You can see I've arrived in the central Levant. Right here, this is the teleport from central Levant to Sicily. The Acre teleport is a little bit far away. I cheated. I teleported here with admin just to save you guys a little bit of time. You can see this is a massive region. If I open the map here, I can just see I'm just in this tiny little area in this corner of the map. If you're wondering why the map is uncovered, it is because I must complete cartography quests in order to uncover the map. However, I can still teleport and see who owns these territories without uncovering it. The cartography quest just draws in the map, allows me to see the detail. It looks a little bit nicer, and that's also, you can see on the mini-map, which helpfully displays I am in the Kingdom of France's territory. It is friendly territory. This is territory my faction or an ally owns. In this case, it is my faction. This is our first garrison, and it is a stronghold. So first of all, what is a stronghold? What is a garrison? What are these things? So garrisons are various locations throughout the map that also have territory, which you can see, and they're marked with these little icons. So each one of these icons represents a garrison. This is a holding. It is a part of our active territory conquest in the game. If you're confused about what the territory conquest is specifically, you can watch our tutorial on territory conquest, which will be linked in the description. So you can see on the right side of the map this legend. All these different garrisons are listed, as well as an icon next to them. There are 4 types of garrisons now. We have outposts, which are marked with this symbol here. We have fortresses, this symbol here. There are strongholds, and there are seaports. Now I'm going to talk to you about each one. The outpost is the least valuable and the easiest to capture type of garrison. Typically, it's smaller, the flag moves up and down faster, and it has less of a strategic value generally. However, sometimes they can generate more resources because of their position in the open world. Next, we have fortresses. These are a little higher value, a little harder to take, more NPCs. Then we have strongholds. These directly connect to a faction's capital, meaning if you take the stronghold, you can then launch a siege on a faction's capital or base. It's not just capitals. Lastly, we have a seaport. Seaport is a little less valuable than a stronghold, but more valuable than a fortress and harder to take than a fortress. A seaport actually allows you to attack various other seaports in the game. It allows you to go from Sicily to Lower Levant to Northern Levant, and use them as ports to transport your troops and attack garrisons that are far away. So you can attack any seaport when you own one seaport, making them perhaps the most valuable type of territory to conquer, and they are also very difficult to capture. So that's a little information about what garrisons are. They generate resources, they have strategic value, you can teleport to them when you own them, and they also protect your lands and your bases by holding them. Garrisons also have a unique feature where they're connected territorially to each other. You cannot simply take another garrison at willy-nilly. You have to be bordering that garrison, and that's visible with this territory map, which I will show you in a second. Okay, you can see now, I can actually see the territory I'm in because I just completed the cartography quest. In order to complete the cartography quest, you have to speak first to the royal cartographer in your region, and then you are allowed to progress and do the cartography quest per specific territory, like the city of Kaifas I'm in. You simply look and find the cartographer. Once you find the cartographer, you can progress. Just essentially, you just go around the map looking for different landmarks that they mark out to you, and then he will draw on your map. You can see it right here on the mini map, and also on this map you can see the city of Kaifas, where I am, and the area around drawn in. It's quite nice. So if you do all these cartography quests, eventually the whole map gets revealed to you. Also, what you can see here is the surrounding territory that is in here with this territory filter. We have 3 different filters that are useful here, or 4 rather. We have the resources filter, which tells you what kind of resource gets generated in this garrison and how valuable that is. We have who owns this territory. In this case, this is the Kingdom of France. You can tell by their icon, which is the Conquest filter. Then we have the normal, which shows you just general points of interest, discovery locations throughout the map. You could see also the type of garrison this is by turning off the Conquest filter. This is a stronghold. So those are a little bit of helpful tips in the map as far as helping you navigate the world. I definitely recommend doing the cartography quests if you want to understand what is capturing and how to capture it. For example, you see these little red lines, these black lines. What does this mean? If you share a black line territory with a garrison, that means you are eligible to attack it because it connects on your territory. If it does not connect on your territory, you will be unable to capture it. Garrisons must be near each other and connected in order for you to use them, or in order for you to capture them. So we can see right here, we're at the next garrison nearby of Nazareth. You see, this is the Teutonic Order's garrison, and it's hostile territory, which means when I'm around here, the guards are likely going to attack me, especially if I'm in a primary server or a conquest server, which we'll talk about more later. We can see right here that this flag has a big symbol over it with an unlocked image. We're going to talk about more of that later. But essentially, we should just know this is a bordering territory. I'm in a non-primary server, so the guards are friendly. If I attack them, however, they will attack me, so be careful. And they just aggroed everybody, so they're going to run after me. They still will attack you if you're unfriendly to them, but they're not going to just pick a fight with you if you leave them alone. So if you're doing a cartography quest or something, or just a quest in general, I would recommend not aggroing them, for they will aggro you and be very upset. But luckily, with my elite assassin parkour skills, I can evade them. I wouldn't recommend fighting them. These guards are very powerful. They have very good weapons, and they are very strong. Only if you're a very good fighter do I encourage you to challenge these guards on your own. So we're at this next garrison. We can see right here on the map that we can't see the territory because we haven't done the cartography. There's the cartographer down there. Let's go take a look at him. So this is the cartographer. I could talk to him and get these quests. And you can see these guards are still mad at me. They remember my face. I'm going to go ahead and just progress myself through this quest. And then once I've completed the quest, by going to all the different areas, you can see now, once again, this area is viewable. And then if we look at the map, this is really going to make sense. See, we share a border as the French with the Teutonics in Nazareth. So this garrison, if we are enemies with the Teutonics, is eligible for us to attack, and vice versa. They can also attack us, meaning our capital city of Acre may be in danger if we do not protect the city of Kaifas. So, now that we've kind of explained how this world works in the regions, they're massive. These are 2 towns, and there are over 30 in here. You can't even see Kaifas, really, because it's so far away. So the city of Kaifas is all the way over there. You can just barely see the walls. That really shows you how large these regions are, which makes teleporting really essential. These are just 2 garrisons in this giant region, and there are 4 regions in the world that are eligible to be conquered, taken, and all have their unique factions' territory. So now that we've kind of discussed and deciphered just the sort of core elements of what makes a garrison and how to explore the map and, you know, discover these territory lines so we can see who we can attack, we're going to move in towards actually exploring these garrisons. One more important note before we actually get into capturing garrisons. You can see here all this territory I've discovered in the map. However, you actually are not going to be able to see the different garrisons. The map will be basically empty like this with a bunch of question marks, and you won't be able to see these really important territory conquest icons for who owns what until you've actually walked around the map and discovered these areas. So before you begin, I really recommend you going around the map and actually at least walking by these areas, especially near your hometown. So for example, if you are French, I really recommend just exploring and finding these garrisons out in your own time so you can actually see, okay, who owns what are we doing, can I teleport there? That's all going to be very important. You will not be able to teleport unless you've explored this. So if you're going into a region battle for the first time, you're going to be a little bit disappointed with your inability to teleport to all the fronts that your commanders may need you to go to. So before you go to a region battle, take some time. Explore the area in the region that your faction's based in. Usually it's only one region. Occasionally it's two. But make sure, for example, if you're French, I want to go around all my French core territories or anywhere we might be attacking or defending so I can teleport there and easily see who owns what, and maybe even do the cartography quest so I can understand, hey, which territory lines connect where. It's going to be very important for you in understanding this process. So now that we've really gone into just the basics, what's a garrison, how do I teleport, and by the way, you teleport just by clicking on the icon. What do I do to see the map? What connects to what? We can go into actually capturing the garrisons. And again, we have a whole territory conquest tutorial video which really explains in depth how these connections work, what the strongholds do, what the base capturings do. But we're not going to cover that in this video because it's already been covered. Now that I'm in the map, I can see this thing that says Conquest server, What is that? We could see this Conquest server here. What is that? Okay, the Conquest server is actually where the conquest and the battles take place. You can see I'm actually in a secondary server. So the guards are not going to attack me unless I aggro them. This server is basically just for doing quests, exploring, doing passive things in the game, maybe farming, maybe doing some mining, but I can't actually capture anything here. And the reason for that is we can't have multiple servers where people can do persistent capture. So we have these dedicated conquest servers, or primary servers you might hear them called, that we can travel to. So I'm just going to select this conquest server and hit travel. Oh wait, you have to opt into conquest servers to teleport to one. This is just so people who aren't quite ready to fight the battles don't actually get dragged into one. We're going to go into our settings by pressing U, or just opening our menu, or clicking here, and we're going to use conquest servers. Press yes. What this is going to do is just opt us to travel right to it, so we can click yes to, or go back to the map and travel like we did before. In this case, I'm just going to hit yes. And now we have teleported into the primary server. I'm flagged for PvP because it's a conquest zone. You want to make sure you are flagged for PvP. We don't want to lose honor. Okay. We'll be doing another tutorial on honor soon. But you can see now I'm still here. I'm outside this enemy territory. So what am I going to do? I'm going to check, make sure that the region battle is active. Currently in the game, at the time of this video, region battles are only open at specific times. You're going to have to check the Discord server or simply click this conquest button to see when the region battles are. Right now we're in luck. The region battle is open. It'll be open for another 3 hours. So during this period, conquest is on. We can fight. When it says region battle will begin in X amount of time, you know, okay, hey, I can't attack right now. I should go train, I should go farm, I should go explore, because right now we cannot fight. Maybe I'll play some matchmaking matches to improve my skills. But right now the region battle is active. I can see that I'm in this conquest server, and I'm in this enemy territory. But to make sure, just because it's hostile territory doesn't mean that my faction is at war with them. I'm going to open up the faction menu. Right here, Kingdom of France, and then I'm going to go relations and see where the enemies are. And you can see right here, the Teutonic Order is in my enemies. Great. This means that I am eligible to attack the Teutonic Order. They are eligible to attack us. If I wasn't eligible, the flag won't move. It won't let me capture it. This game relies on casus belli and war causes that you can attack enemies with. You can't just attack an enemy without your leader declaring war on them. So now that I've been declared war, I'm going to make sure, in a normal circumstance, my faction's probably going to be rallying and telling us to attack at specific times. So you're going to have to listen to coordinate with them. They might not want you opening a front without their permission. So make sure you're talking to them, communicating with your high ranks. Don't want you to get in trouble to be exiled or demoted. But in this case, we're just going to assume we have the green light. We've heard from our superiors that, hey, we want you to attack this. But here I got my bow equipped. I've got English U bow with cast arrows. This is the testing server. It's going to be very hard to get those items. But these should help me really dispatch of these guards because they are going to be tough. As I said, these guards are extremely tough, intentionally so. So this is late game PvP we're talking about here. And you might not want to approach them without being in an army. And they're already aggroing me. You can see that. This is a war server. They're not going to play games. They're not going to wait for me to attack. They know why I'm here. We are enemies, and they are not interested in playing games. So I'm just going to back up and dispatch of these guards. Probably fast forward through this part. Okay, I've gotten them around, and you can see the flag is already going down. It's going to go down much slower in the live game than this, but you can see for just display purposes, there we go. I can now capture this flag, and now this flag is French territory. The guards are French. They are now mine. The banners around are mine. And if I go to the map, boom, the formerly Teutonic base of Nazareth is now mine, a French territory. I can click on it now, and after processing the teleport, boom, it's going to send it to me, to the spawn point, which is a little bit outside of the area. And so I've now conquered this territory for the French king. It is now mine. And so the guards are mine. We're going to collect resources from here. And I did it without even losing a single life. Speaking of lives, what are lives? You can see right here, the Roman numerals, I have 30 lives currently. These lives are essentially how many times I can die without the game booting me out. This is to prevent just constant, non-stop aggression. You have to be a little bit more conservative. For example, if I die here, you're going to see when I respawn, the lives are going to move down. Meaning now I only have 29 lives in the game. Right there, XXIX, that's 29 in Roman numerals. I only have 29 lives left, so I have to be careful. Meaning once it's out, I'm not going to be allowed into the server for a set amount of time. I'm going to keep regaining lives every few hours, and eventually I'll be able to come back in. Another component that prevents people from just constant non-stop aggression is garrison cooldowns. You can see right here, this garrison is on cooldown. I've just captured it. The Teutonics are not going to be able to just come in here and immediately recapture it for at least 8 minutes. We have a specific system with garrison cooldowns in place, meaning every consecutive capture, the cooldown gets longer, meaning a garrison can't just keep changing hands back and forth every 8 minutes. The next cooldown is going to be even longer, and the next one's going to be even longer, and the next one's going to be even longer. Eventually, it resets back down to the base value, but only after about 5 or 6 captures, meaning each time it's going to be harder and harder and longer of a wait, making it so that wars can't just endlessly go back and forth, and you have to be tactful and strategic in that way. So now that I've secured this territory, Nazareth, for the Kingdom of France, what do I do next? Okay, I'm going to check my map. You can see I don't really have much explored around me, but I can kind of see the borders of this territory. I can attack to the south, I can attack to the north, or I can attack to the east. Right now, I'm feeling like attacking to the north, really securing our borders on the county, or the city of Acre, and the city of Caiaphas. I want to make sure, so I'm going to use my compass. I'm going to point myself north, see on the mini-map, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm heading towards that territory. Now, remember, this is a huge map. It's going to take a while to get from territory to territory. You might encounter some bumps along the way. You want to make sure that you're coordinating with your faction, making sure you're attacking the right places at the right times, or you will be outmaneuvered. You cannot just simply throw your body around and hope to capture these things. It's going to take cohesion, coordination, and effort. An important note about the cooldowns. Each garrison's cooldown changes depending on the type of garrison. Strongholds have longer cooldowns than outposts. It scales upwards, which prevents people from attacking strongholds so frequently because they are so valuable. The more important the garrison is, the more difficult it's going to be to capture, and the longer you're going to have to wait in between captures. So for example, we just captured an outpost and we are moving to another outpost. You can see it's just a tiny little village. There's some guards here. I'm going to dispatch them. First, I'm going to check, is the flag unlocked? Okay, it is. So this flag is not on cooldown. So I'm going to dispatch of these guards for the Kingdom of France and all their cheese and snails and glory. So once I've dispatched of all these tough guards, I should be eligible to capture the flag. Here's an important note. The flag captures based on who has the most men in proximity. You can see we both have one person in proximity. It's going to scale up to 10, meaning if I had 6 people around this flag, it's going to capture 6 times faster than it already would, which is really important when you get the slower capture times. So because we're both 1-to-1 here, if I move out of the way, he's going to start to capture that flag back. If I move closer to it without him around, for example, I'm just going to kill him here. Now my flag is being freely captured. It's going to change the Kingdom of France at the bottom and then be raised back up. And eventually, once it reaches the top, now I officially own it. It goes on cooldown for 10 minutes. Again, the next one consecutive, it's going to be even longer. And I'm going to have access to this territory to teleport to. Now, because I haven't done the Cartography quest, I still can't see anything around it, but I can teleport when I click. And remember, the teleports do take a couple seconds. It needs to load all the terrain around the teleport location because this map is so quick. Because this map is so large, rather. So just keep that in mind. And there we go. I've teleported right here to the outpost of Zikanen. So I've captured a couple things. You might be thinking, what else is there to know about this garrison capture? It seems pretty straightforward. Well, you have to keep in mind that there are certain exceptions to some of these capture rules. For example, clans, which are not factions, have specific rules for capturing. When a clan captures a flag, the flag is not put on a cooldown. This is to prevent clans from being abused and used in proxy for faction warfare. Meaning, if I use a clan to attack this faction's outpost for me, it won't be on cooldown, so the faction that owns it can just retake it, and then it will be placed on cooldown the way it was supposed to. Because clans do not need to declare war on a faction to take their outposts. They are mercenaries and bandits. They can own garrisons, but not bases. So they are used as mercenaries as a way to kind of make the faction and garrison dynamic system a little bit more interesting. But it is important to note they can be a little bit pesky at times. However, they are not allowed to own over a certain amount of garrisons in any given territory. I think the amount is either 3 or 5. So each clan can only own about 3 or 5 garrisons per territory. So they can't conquer the whole map like a faction could. They're meant to be more small-term mercenaries. With that being said, this is the basis of the garrison system. I'm going to go back over it in a very high-level way so you can understand some key points. Number 1, you must be in a Conquest server in order to participate in a battle. Meaning, make sure you double check you're in the Conquest server and opted into them in the settings. Number 2, you want to make sure you have these garrisons discovered on your map, or else you won't be able to see anything and know where to go or be able to teleport to them. 3, kind of a part 2 to number 2, is you want to do the Cartography quest so you can actually see the garrison's territory and borders. 4, once you're in the Conquest server during a region battle time, you want to make sure that your faction is at war with the territory you're about to capture, or it will not work. Furthermore, coordinating with your faction on attack times will be pivotal, as factions communicate often in their Discord servers and throughout the game on when they're going to be attacking. So make sure to communicate with them so you don't get caught with your pants down. Finally, when you capture, flags go on cooldowns. If the flag has a lock above it, it cannot be captured, so plan for that tactfully. There's of course other intricacies and things to understand about the region battle and garrison conquest system. However, I recommend you watch our territory conquest system to understand things in a more macro sense, and talk to your faction leaders, specifically if you want more info. I think these first few points are a great starting point so that you can start participating in region battles. As a final warning, region battles are very difficult. They're meant to be hard. It is full-fledged, hardcore PvP. So if you are not confident with your abilities, it might not be the best time to go into a region battle. You might be more of a hindrance to your faction than a help. It just depends on what they would like. I definitely recommend playing matchmaking, sparring as you're getting started. This will help you level up as far as your ability, getting better weapons, and just learning the combat a little better so that when you go into PvP, you don't get absolutely destroyed every single time, because it is a full-fledged MMO PvP. And so it's going to be difficult. However, if you have a large faction, if you have a lot of friends, you can run in and still be a help, even if you're not great. So just keep that in mind. That's going to be all for this Garrison tutorial. I hope that it was helpful and that you learned a little bit more about our system. You definitely want to keep an eye on the patch notes, because sometimes we're changing things related to balance or functionality, but as a general rule, what you see here is going to apply. So I hope you guys have fun out there. Go conquer some territory, go take it to your enemies, and win in this persistent territory conquest game that we call Lionhearts. Thanks very much for watching. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe below. If not, leave a dislike and tell us why this content could be improved in the comments below. We'll see you guys in the next one.